YouTube is a great source of information, but it can also be a bit overwhelming with how much information it actually gives you. Join me today in looking at a new tool that helps you bring all those videos together in one source and uses AI to help pull that information out of those sources. It also allows you to take notes while you're watching these videos and even find the highlights in each video through the use of AI. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Eric Nelson, and I like to do reviews about AI and tech and gear and anything in between. Today, we're going to be looking at a tool called Gistr, and we'll look at in a second here. The URL to the site is gistr.so. In a previous video, I looked at NotebookLM, and NotebookLM is a fantastic tool for bringing multiple sources of information together and then using AI to look at all the information holistically and pull that information out. Gistr is very similar to NotebookLM, but it's only meant to be, currently at least, for YouTube. So again, the gist would be that you bring all of those YouTube sources into one place, and then you can use an AI model to question it, find out the information on it, find highlights within the video, and also take notes in a way that's really similar to Notion. So let's jump in and take a look at the site and see how we use this tool. Okay, here's the main page of the Gistr site. And again, up here, it's gistr.so. And as it says here, it is a smart notebook for curious minds. And again, yes, it will take PDF sources and web links, but this really is currently targeted more for research within YouTube, and this is where it really shines. Now, to get started on here, you would just go up here to create an account. Now, and you can continue with your Google account or just sign up with email. Either way, this is a free service. I don't know if they're going to charge for this later, but currently it's completely free. You just got to sign up an account to get started. Now, I've already got my account created here, and you can see I've got nothing created. And we're going to go over just a few of the simple interface organization techniques that they have here, and then start to do some research on a product that I'm interested in to show how we use it. Now, the way that they organize is in terms of collections, threads, and sources. So you can see here that a collection is just a collection of threads, and a thread is a collection of sources. So the thing that I want to do some research on, because I'm a Garmin fan, I love Garmin watches, I'm wearing mine right now, and Garmin just released a new watch called the Fenix Pro 8. And I want to find out what the differences are between the Fenix 8 and the Fenix 8 Pro. So we're going to start with creating a new collection, and I'm just going to call this collection Fenix 8 Pro. And you can see here you can keep this private so that only people that you invite can see it. We'll just do that. And we'll create that. And then we'll come into our collection here. And now we've got nothing in here. We want to start a thread. And we'll add a new thread. And when we come in, the first thing it's asking for is a link to the first source. So we're going to come over here to YouTube. And we're going to type in Garmin Fenix 8 Pro. And we're going to get a lot of videos here. DC Rainmaker, Chase the Summit, DesFit. These are all fantastic sources. But just like when we were using NotebookLM, it's a little hard to go through every single video, watch it to find all the points, because some of them focus on unboxing, some focus on features, some focus on all of it. I don't necessarily want to have to watch every one of these and spend 2 hours trying to find out the information that I want. So I'm going to use Gistr to consolidate all these sources and help suss out that information for me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our first source here from Chase the Summit. We'll just copy the link, and then we're going to go in here and click the plus sign, paste our link here. It will recognize the video, and then we're going to say add. And now it's added to our source. And we're going to do that for a couple of videos here. We'll grab one from DesFit. And we'll add another video and say add. And now you can see we've got 2 sources here. Let's pull in a third one here just for good measure. I think this was Garmin's official release, so we'll go ahead and grab that one and put that in there and then add. And we should see that show up here in our sources. Okay, we've got 3 sources here now. And maybe we'll try one more just for good measure. This one tells you that there's a whole bunch of things you should probably know, and so that might be a good one to include in here. Okay, so you can see we've got 4 sources loaded in here now, all YouTube sources. And now we can come in here to our sources and verify, yes, we've got those here. They're all YouTube. So first of all, I'm going to add a little title here to just say Phoenix 8 Pro Research. And that just names our thread because we can have multiple threads under our collection. So let's just recap what we've done here. We've created a collection, and a collection is a collection of threads. Our thread is a collection of sources. And now we can just start to do anything we want. If any of you are familiar with Notion, it has this kind of block style notes. And you can see immediately it looks very much the same on Gistr, where we have these blocks and we can kind of move those around. We can also have slash commands, and we can do text and say, this is the start of my research. And we can do, to-dos, 1, 2, 3, just typical Notion style notes. Here's what I want to point out about the difference between NotebookLM and Gistr. If we grab one of those sources and we come to NotebookLM and we create a notebook and we call this Phoenix 8 Pro, and we add a source, which we can do with YouTube here, and we put that in. Great. Now we can build up those same sources in NotebookLM and start to ask questions about it. Hopefully you've used this before. I have a video that I did on this a while back. The main difference between NotebookLM and Gistr is that NotebookLM, I can't watch the video. I can only come in here and start doing questions against the videos. But in Gistr, I can actually click on one of these and I can start to watch the video while I'm taking notes or while I'm using AI to pull information out of it. So if I still want to watch it, we can just click on it and start watching.
Oh boy, we have new Phoenixes to talk about today. This morning, Garmin announced the new...
And while we're watching this, I can come down here to Gistr's suggested questions and I can say, get the gist. Tell me what this video was talking to me about. And it's only focused on this one source for now. So already you can see, while I'm watching this video, I can turn to the AI part of things and start to get information out of it ahead of time and quickly. All of this stuff I just pulled out of this video instantly without having to watch the entire video. Now I still may want to watch the video, and that's why I love having the panel on the right here. And notice as well, down here, it also created a transcript. So I can follow along in the transcript and even create highlights and create a moment. Like if there's a part in the video that I really liked, I can highlight that, create the moment, and even copy the transcript. This is where it really stands out from NotebookLM, is that while I'm interrogating the information with the AI, I can also watch the video, I can also read the transcript, I can also take highlights, and a much more powerful tool, at least in terms of YouTube research, than NotebookLM, in my opinion. Now, another interesting thing that you can do here is you see this button here called Auto Highlight. And while I can go in while I'm watching the video and create my own highlights, I can bookmark a place and say, this is a highlight. I can tell it to use AI to tell me what it thinks are highlights in this video. So we're going to click that, and it's going to go in the background and process the video, and it's going to offer me what it thinks are highlights. Now you can see that it actually came back and says, I can't find any highlights. This is pretty common. I think that it's not so much an issue with the video as it is that the Gistr LLM is still being fleshed out, and I think that they'll be doing releases pretty often. But we can come down here and click this on any of these other videos, and it will look for highlights in those other ones as well. Okay, so you can see here for DC Rainmaker, it came back with 6 suggested highlights. This is what's interesting. It gives us the title of what's going on at that point. It gives us the point in the video where that starts. And so all I have to do is click on that and it will take me right to that here.
Put a metal strip between those two buttons. That is covering up the microphone, protecting the microphone.
And
as
it,
well as the
sure enough, is talking to me about the
now's a good
microphone.
time.
And I can keep doing that on these other ones and just jump to different points in the video that the AI thought were highlights. But again, what I want to point out is this is kind of hit and miss right now. You can also create your own highlights as well, so that you're kind of bookmarking points in the video that you find personally interesting. One thing I want to note here, now that we've created these highlights, is you can see down here in the scrubber, these purple sections, and these sections are the highlights. So this is a visual representation of those highlights with the thumbnail of where they start, 153, 452, and you can see that they correlate to those times over here. So that's another cool thing that I can visually go and see what those are and jump right to them. Now, one thing to note down here in this bar is that you can see over here in this source section that I have one source selected. It tends to default to that, so it's only searching against one source at a time. But I can click it and I can say, well, look at these two or these three, or I can say all. Then when I start to use questions here, now you can see instead of saying one source, it says all sources. Be mindful of that because it does default to one source. But now I'm going to use AI to say, create a table showing the differences between the Phoenix 8 and the Phoenix 8 Pro. And it's going to go and search all of the videos and bring all that information together to give me that comparison in a table format here in the notes section. Okay, now you can see, here's my question, create a table, and here's the response. It actually created a table with the Phoenix 8 Standard and the Phoenix 8 Pro, and it categorized the areas that it was creating differentials on, and then it gave the differences between the two. I love that it can take all of these videos that gives you all this information and then create diagrams showing those differences. And what's interesting about this is, again, this whole notes section is intermingling your own notes that you can keep doing here. You can come after this section and say, you can create headings, prices, and then you can, under prices, say, ask AI, what are the prices of all the new models? And then under your price section, it will give the response to that and say, well, the smaller one is $11.99, the 51 is $12.99, and the new micro LED is $19.99. And so to come back to the differences here with NotebookLM, yes, you can start to ask those questions here, and you can move those snippets over to notes, but it doesn't allow you to create your own notes and then intermingle the AI responses. So again, I love NotebookLM. I think it's a phenomenal product. I use it quite a bit. But when it comes to specifically doing research with YouTube, I find that this Gistr product is a little bit more flexible in allowing you to do your own notes and then mingling those with the AI responses. And at the same time, again, I want to come back to this, being able to watch the video here in line and looking at the transcript and looking at highlights. It brings all of this together in one nice product. Now I can come over here and I can switch my source to be, now I want to look at Chase the Summit, or I can switch it to DesFits. I can keep going back and forth with these videos, looking at the transcripts, creating highlights, and then going back and forth in the AI. Again, notice it switched it to one source. So when I click on a source, then it changes the text prompt to just be that one source. So keep in mind that you got to watch that. If you want to always be looking at all sources, I don't know of a way currently to pin that. So you just got to be careful. If you're switching videos, it will probably change it to just be that video as the source for your AI prompts. Okay, now the final thing I want to show you, as I promised at the beginning, is the extension. There's some cool things with this extension, but I have found some inconsistencies, and I'll show those as I use them here. The extension is meant to be used on YouTube's site itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into one of these videos. We'll come into this one here.
which is basically
Doesn't really
way brighter
matter.
than it.
And then we've got the extension up here. You can see the Gistr extension. And we'll click on it and it will say it's already saved in this thread. So I can open that and it opens up to the side here. Now we can come in and start doing notes again and do heading to, we can say satellite features, and then we can bring up the AI here and just say, what satellite features do these watches have? And it will go and parse the source of this video to get the answer to that and then put those in the notes. Now, one thing I have noticed is you can see here they have this capture screenshot feature. If we go back to the main website, you'll see that they also have capture screenshot, but when I click it, it will say, you got to use the extension. It's a little annoying. Why they even have the button here? If it isn't supported, I don't know. I guess just to remind you, hey, you have to use this. So if we come back over here to the site here, then they have the capture screenshot feature here that we can use. This is still buggy. So when I click it, it actually doesn't work. So I'm going to leave some feedback for the folks at Gistr. I have seen it work, so it seems intermittent, but what it will do is anywhere that you've scrubbed on the video over here, when you click screenshot, it will just take a screenshot of that video at that point and then drop it in your notes. But it's inconsistent and it doesn't always work. Again, I really prefer to be back here and use this website interface over the extension. If you don't need the screenshot feature, then there's probably not a compelling reason to use the extension over just the website, at least for now until they really fix some of the bugs. A couple things I want to show with the interface here. If you look in the upper right, they have these dual arrows. That swaps these two halves. So I can put the video on the left and the notes on the right. It's just preference. I can swap it back. You can share this. This is the interesting part, is you can start to invite folks here to your collection and your thread and actually use this. And you can, again, create this as public if you want, and then anybody can use it given the link. You can see the copy link over here. Or you can have invite only, and then you can add their email and it will allow them to click on it and come in and jump in and start using this. The other thing over here under these ellipses is move to or delete thread. This allows you to move the thread to another collection if you want to reorganize these and do a better job with organization. A couple other little things I want to show is you can scrub to any point in the timeline here, and in your notes you can then come over to this little add timestamp and you can see that it dropped that timestamp. It's like a bookmark, right? That's what an image is. It's a bookmark and allows you to jump back, and then you can put your own notes. This is where it talks about this and that. Another interesting thing is you see the scrubber down here. And I found that if I click and drag a certain time, that it will actually drop it down here in my notes. And I can scrub somewhere else away, in the video, and then come back and just hit play. And so it's not just a bookmark, like a point in time, it's a section that I've highlighted in the video. And when I hit play, it will actually play that whole section from start to finish. It also adds, controls here to go, back 10 seconds, forward 10 seconds. Kind of like a podcast control. So it lets you take sections of the video that are of interest to you. The other thing it allows you to do is a little bit of customization. So you can add notes to this video clip. You can add transcript. You can edit the title because it auto-generated the title based on where it was at in the video. So I can change that. I can edit the ends. I can edit the end and start so I can make it longer. Very interesting. And then I can also delete the clip. Notice over here, when I've got this clip selected, that it's actually highlighted the clip. So it's started from the moment in the transcript where the clip starts to the moment that it ends. And I can go and change the clip duration as well by dragging this, and that will automatically regenerate the clip and its start and end location as well. So it really gives a lot of powerful features in this transcript editor to create clips, to create highlights, notes, bookmarks. Another thing, if we come into the transcript now and we highlight a section here, it will say I can create a highlight, create a moment, or copy transcript. If I create a highlight, it drops that highlight down here in my notes, also with the location in the video. If I create a moment, then it creates that moment here in my notes as well. What I love is the ability to go in here and do all these powerful features within the transcript itself. One more thing to note here, and again, these are just some similar controls that you could get in YouTube itself. It does allow you to change the speed, so you can go slower or faster if you want to get through this at a different time. And then there's this free mode that lets you undock the video and kind of move it around if you want the full page for the transcript. So another little cool feature, then you can redock it. Up here, you've got your different sources. So you can quickly switch between those without having to go to your sources tab over here. So overall, a really powerful interface. I feel like this is still early, but they produced a phenomenal product at this point, and it will only get better as they continue to release features and bug fixes. I do think there's a lot of work still to be done with the extension, and I think that will be a really cool way to interact with this right in the YouTube homepage, so I don't have to jump to this full screen. But I think that they've already got a fantastic product currently, and it will only get better from here. So that's Gistr in a nutshell, a fantastic research product, primarily focused for YouTube, allowing you to do a lot of powerful things. I would love to know if any of you have seen this before, if there are features that I've missed. I love the different products in AI that are coming out that make our lives so much easier, that save on time, but also give us just powerful abilities to bring information from multiple sources and just bring that out through the power of these AI models. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing. It's a huge help to a small channel like mine. Thank you again for watching today, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.